What'd you feel like overall, though, with Purdy's performance, Joe? Because you were talking about it, the hits withstanding, but just his poise in the pocket.
Purdy's fine. Purdy,
that's your main takeaway, right?
I feel so good about Purdy.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just, he's not going to implode. Okay, every great quarterback is going to have a 3, 4, 5 interception game, right? It just happens. Like, it's just, you fall behind, you start throwing, whatever. It's going to happen. Like, we act like the Baltimore game is who he is. It's like, no, that's just one game. You know who he is? The 30 other games that he's played where he's been freaking awesome, right? Is he Patrick Mahomes? No. Is he pretty freaking good? Yeah. He's pretty freaking good. So I feel really good. I think he's calm. I think he's gotten more cerebral. I think that his body looks 100% fine. I think that he looks as spry as ever. His arm looks as good as it's ever looked. And I see him at the line of scrimmage, being able to audible into other plays. I think the dude is totally fine. I think he's awesome. I think we're going to be really good with him. And I think he's going to be a guy that you're going to pay him whatever the money is, $175 million guaranteed or whatever it is. And it's going to be a high price tag. And in 2 or 3 years, they're going to be like, yeah, but he played in 95% of the games. We win 11 games every single year. And he's Shanahan's right-hand man.
You just have the poise or you don't when it comes to the quarterback at the NFL position. He has it.
He passes the eye test.
He passes the eye test every time I see him. The pick wasn't great. That's fine. You can get away with that in the preseason. If you start doing that in the regular season, yeah, I'll be a little more concerned because you know what? One of his key attributes last year was protecting the football outside of that Monday night disaster against the Ravens on Christmas Day. But Dallas is in San Francisco. It's weird to say. Dallas is in San Francisco, and he wants to weigh in on Brock Purdy's performance at 888-957-9570. What's going on, Dallas?
Nothing much. How you guys doing today?
Oh, doing great. It's a Monday morning, baby.
I'm excited for Niner football.
Oh, very excited.
What you got?
I'm mostly excited for Puny. You know, I really like that pickup in the draft. But as far as like Brock's preseason, I feel like he definitely had a subpar preseason. But I think I say that with a grain of salt because I don't think a lot of the blame should be on him, especially like I said, we're missing our weapons and a lot of the drama of the contract situations with Trent and Brandon.
All right. Appreciate you, Dallas. That's Dallas in San Francisco, 888-957-9570. How would you grade Brock Purdy's preseason as a whole? And how do you feel about him heading into week 1 against the Jets, where he's going up against a guy that Niners know very well, and Aaron Rodgers? Like that's going to be, everyone's going to be talking about Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers. It always goes back to the quarterback duel, even though they don't play each other when they're on the field. But I'm looking at this quarterback ranking. Mike Sando does it every single year, does a hell of a job for The Athletic, and they do these tier system. So you're either tier 1, and in this case, tier 1 this season is Mahomes, Burrow, Josh Allen. And Brock Purdy's in tier 2. And these are the lists of quarterbacks ahead of him. And I'm going to name them, and I want to discuss it afterwards. Number 4, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
This is tier 2. Number 5, Matt Stafford. Number 5, it's a tie. So I guess however.
So a guy with 2 MVPs is in front of him, and a guy with a Super Bowl ring and a 10-year career.
And this is going to be the one I think triggers some Niner fans.
Give it to me.
Because Matt Stafford and Herbert are tied, and this is from
Herbert.
League execs.
Wow.
Vote on this, Joe Shasky.
Okay.
Yes. So Stafford and Herbert are tied for 5th. Then you got Aaron Rodgers, obviously multi-time MVP.
He's one of the greatest players ever.
CJ Stroud, number 8. I can see the projection.
You know how many touchdowns CJ threw last year?
How many?
23.
How many did he run for?
I'm just saying he threw for 23. It's just a stat. It's a fact.
He missed some games. Dak Prescott, number 9. Interesting.
Dak's had some really good regular seasons.
He has. He was also second team All-Pro last year, and I think if I was Brock Purdy, I'd be a little upset about that. But that's Brock Purdy. He probably doesn't even care because he's just wired like that. Jared Goff, number 10. Jalen Hurts, number 11. Brock Purdy, number 12 overall. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that Herbert's too high. I think that Jared Goff is too high. And I think that Purdy's a little too low. Like, to me, Purdy, depending on what day it is, he's anywhere from like 3 through like 8, 9.
Wow.
That's what he is.
3.
I do. On a given day. Just like on a given day, Josh Allen could be number 1 overall. Just like on a given day, Lamar Jackson could be number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. Just like on a given day, I could see Matt Stafford being number 1 overall.
On a given day, if it's anyone other than Patrick Mahomes at number 1 overall, people are smoking crack. He has earned that. Like,
well,
I don't care.
Yes. But he's in his own category. I agree with you. You know what? You're right. You're right. You know what? Let me walk it back. 2. All those guys I said, just 2. Because Mahomes is in a class all himself. That's okay. Because Joe Burrow as an excellent player, I love him. He's never healthy.
But if you're doing this exercise, and I do think it's interesting.
Health matters to me.
888-957-9570. Like, you're still... Are you taking Lamar Jackson over him?
No, for what the Niners do, I'm taking Brock Purdy.
I think that's a hot take.
In a vacuum, if I was starting a franchise from scratch, I would take Lamar because I know we can build everything around him. Given what the Niners are doing and the way that they're playing, like the way they want to play football is the way Brock Purdy plays football. Are we
ever going to escape that, though, with Brock? Like, can Brock ever escape the system? Is that ever, like, how long do we just have to keep saying, well, within this system, I'm taking Brock Purdy? Like, sooner or later, the quarterback himself has to be able to break through that.
Would
that
Tom Brady have been Tom Brady in Detroit?
I don't know. Like, that's...
No, he wouldn't have been.
Well, again, that's a hypothetical that I can never answer because he was always a New England Patriot.
But that's why we do these, and I get why we do them, but we do these exercises.
But I saw Tom Brady do multiple systems.
So here's an example.
Like, that's the thing, though. Like,
we're now here.
Bill O'Brien, Josh McDaniels, whoever, Charlie Weiss, right? Like,
so we were going to do something later on in the week. The quintessential Yankee. We were talking about Aaron Judge.
God,
when I think of
phenomenal.
The quintessential New York Yankee in my mind, okay? When I think about it, I close my eyes. Big bopper who's larger than life and hits massive home runs and has an unbelievable ear-to-ear smile. Almost feels like a cartoon how big and strong he is.
Yeah.
He is the quintessential Yankee. Now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to go quintessential quarterback of the Kyle Shanahan offense. Okay? I wouldn't go height or weight or speed. I would go super smart, deadly accurate, as sharp and as quick when it comes to the release of the football as anyone out there, hits the intermediate throw and will go for the jugular when needed downfield, and is willing to put himself second, third, fourth on the checklist because this is a run-first system. The quintessential quarterback in the Kyle Shanahan offense is Brock Purdy. He is built to play this brand of football. Why are we looking for anything else? He's better at doing this than even Matt Ryan was.
Ooh. I'm not a system player. I am a system.
Matt Ryan won the MVP, though, Joe Shasky.
Yeah, but Matt Ryan can't do the stretch stuff with the legs and make the secondary plays.
Matt Ryan had a 28-3 lead. I mean, he was kind of like, Matt Ryan's a borderline Hall of Famer. Like, can Brock get there first? Like,
Brock has now had 2 great seasons with Kyle.
Yes.
Matt had 1.
Okay, but Matt also had a multitude of different offensive coordinators throughout his tenure. They both lost
in the Super Bowl.
They both lost in the Super Bowl. Like, I really, really like Brock Purdy with Kyle Shanahan, but sooner or later, like, you have to be good enough to break through that system quarterback top. And I don't know, and it's unfair because he's only known Kyle Shanahan is what I'm trying to get at. What system
does, like for example, like Lamar Jackson, like if I ask
he is the system. Lamar does, he's the system.
No, because they adjust what they do, right? Like the way that they were running offense with Flacco.
That's exactly right. They adjust to him. You have to adjust to Shanahan's scheme.
If Mike McCarthy had Lamar Jackson. That's the other way around.
Like, no. They adjust to his skill sets. Like,
I think it goes
Shanahan,
both ways.
Shanahan, it's my way or the highway with him. And yes, he's adjusted a little bit, but I think it's always going to be his say. Like, do I ever envision a Brock Purdy and Shanahan relationship like I saw in Tampa with Tom Brady and Bruce Arians when they have that level of dialogue? I'm not sure.
Well, 10 years from now, he might change personalities and he might have earned more trust. Like, they both might be in different spots. Like, I don't think Andy Reid would be as flexible today as he's as flexible today that he wasn't 15 years ago. I think he was more rigid, right? Depending on who he was. And I look at like Bill Walsh and the way he coached, it evolved over time. Guys change. Look, I guess no one is saying that Purdy's the greatest quarterback ever. But what I'm saying is he is the quintessential Kyle Shanahan offense quarterback. Close your eyes, deadly accurate, could hit the intermediate layered throws, will go for the jugular, will check down, will check into a run, okay? Work perfectly off the play action, brilliant in the pocket, just makes things happen, extremely efficient in the red zone, doesn't turn the ball over. Those are all the things, check. Quintessential Kyle Shanahan quarterback.
The only thing I will give you on this too, because we were comparing like the best quarterbacks, and I'd still probably take Matt Ryan, but that's just a totality of his career overall than Brock Purdy, and that's not what you're talking about. You're just talking about the quintessential X's and O's. And the running ability, I think, is a huge part of this too, because Matt Ryan was not mobile. CJ Beathard was not mobile. Nick Mullins is not mobile. You can go. Johnny Manziel has a little mobility.
A little wiggle.
Brian Hoyer, and then obviously Trey Lance had some, but like the mobility just wasn't what you needed within that offense. Like Purdy has that. He has that escapability factor that we saw against the Raiders last Friday night. I just, sooner or later, I don't know how you can break through that narrative. I keep talking about it because I do think it's a little unfair to Brock because he's only known this system. Can he break through from being just a system quarterback under Kyle Shanahan? A Super Bowl probably would have done that. Right? Like you win a Super Bowl, like what do you say?
There'd still be haters.
You're a system Super Bowl winner. Is that what you're going to say? Like, so that probably is the only thing that can shut people up, which is stupid. I get it. He was an MVP candidate last year. I just think the way Kyle Shanahan still operates, and it's been elite at a very elite level, he is partially why Brock Purdy does not get the respect that he deserves. Probably.
Do we think that Kyle Shanahan knows football?
Yes.
All right. What about Tom Brady?
Yes.
All right. And Troy Aikman?
Yes. Decent career.
All right. The guys that know football, that played it at the highest of high levels, think he's really good. Brock Purdy. So I agree with them. I think that he's really, 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 really good. I don't think he's the best player in the league at the position.
So number 12 is fine then. That means you're really good.
I think it's a little low. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I think it's a little low. I think they've put others a little high. I think he's better than Jared Goff, for example. I'm just using that one example. I think he's higher than that on the list. And I think in part because people think so highly of Kyle Shanahan that they devalue Brock Purdy. It's the same thing I saw with Joe Montana.
Again, we're talking about the Mike Sando article at The Athletic. If you don't know what we're talking about, quarterback tier system right now. There's multiple tiers, and tier 1 is just 3 quarterbacks, Burrow, Mahomes, not in that order, but Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen. And then tier 2, you got 14 quarterbacks, I should say, because Jordan Love and Kirk Cousins are also on that list. But here's what was said within this little blurb about Brock Purdy. This is what a head coach said. When they have to move the ball via drop back pass, there has been a difference between him and Jimmy. Purdy has done it, and he's done it in moments where he had to pull the ball down against Detroit and go get a first down with his legs. He has an innate feel. He has proven even when it's not going well, he's a quarter away from clicking in, and you'd better have a lead when he does. Here's what another defensive coordinator this time said. The system really helps, but he maximizes it. I'm just saying, like,
okay.
That's what a lot of people feel. Like the system. How does West Oakland Sam feel about the system quarterback that is Brock Purdy?
Ridiculous.
What's going on, Sam? You're almost Spadoni and Shasky on 95.7 The Game.
What's up, fellas? I love my system quarterback. My system quarterback is amazing, and he plays well within our system perfectly. What's really interesting with like a lot of my friends is like they always talk about, oh, the talent around Brock Purdy. I mean, like, what quarterback didn't have the talent? But one thing that I noticed in Brock's mechanics, like, tell me if you guys noticed this, his gunslinger mentality is really interesting. He does these little passes where it almost looks like he's not following through, and like, he'll drop his head.
Yes.
And, like, not like follow through. It's really interesting. I've never really seen it where it's like he knows where it's going, but it's almost like a no look. And it's, like, amazing. Like, I love it's really like tricky because it might go like a different way, but he never misses when he does that.
Well,
you guys notice that?
One sec, I'll let you finish. It's like he's off the back foot, and as he's throwing, he's almost protecting his body so he doesn't take this like crazy shoulder head blow. I know exactly what you're talking
Thanks,
about.
Sam. We were up against it. No, I know what he's talking about too. Like
it's got like a baseball feel, like when you're in the hole.
The Staffords do it. Mahomes does it.
It's
Allen
like a
can do
Chapman
it
on the run throw.
Correct. Like.
It's hard to describe.
Again, Brock, growing up, his dad was a minor league baseball player. Like, he knows, like, I'm sure he's taught at a very young age how to throw the ball, all that sort of stuff. And that sort of muscle memory. And here, guys like Tom Brady, who's obviously drafted by the Montreal Expos, like, you have that feel as a quarterback, and being a multi-sport athlete, it pays off. Mahomes, again, another guy. Russell Wilson, another guy. Like, you have that quality. It just shows up, and you can fit your arm and arm angles into positions that normal guys that you see just don't do, that weren't dual sport athletes. All right, we're up against it. We're going to take a quick break. I'm enjoying this conversation. Brock Purdy ranked the 12th best quarterback by Mike Sando. 12th best. Now, Sando is a compilation of coordinators, head coaches, execs. You buying that, 49ers fans? Brock Purdy, the 12th best quarterback, 888-957-9570. Let's get into that. And that's what's coming up on The Game, brought to you by Safeway.
For these member deals, creamy Yoplait yogurt 4 to 6 ounces or protein yogurt 5.6 ounces.